This is Prepare to Qualify, and I'm Troy. Prepare to Qualify was started to help fans of the NTT IndyCar Series relate to and influence business growth opportunities of their favorite sport, especially as it relates to the sponsors. Just a little bit about my own fan experience. I remember I was 11 years old when I saw my first IndyCar Series race. It was at Texas World Speedway, a race that my dad took me to. We were growing up in Houston at the time. And it was just a magical day. I remember from the very first minute that I got out of my dad's car, hearing the sounds and the roar of those engines as they were practicing when we got there early that morning was just something I'll never forget. And I was hooked for life. Back then there was no internet. So the only way to really learn about your favorite sport was to read the program. So I got a race program and I read through it probably 1,000 times just that week. I just couldn't get enough of it. So I've taken the passion that I have for the sport and the marketing and promotional experience that I've had in my life, in my business life, and I want to create something to where the fans of the series can look to see who's responsible for their favorite drivers being in the series. So who are the sponsors? Why did they sponsor the car? What do they hope to gain from it? And how can we, as fans of the series, how can we help them obtain their business goals? I mean, that's the bottom line here is other sports know who their sponsors are. I mean, the IndyCar series and other racing series are different because of the fact that each individual car has a different sponsor, not just a sole sponsor of, say, the whole entire team. But that just makes it to where we have to be extra vigilant as fans to find out who the sponsors are and to make sure that we are giving them our business and that our friends are giving them their business and so on and so on. It's just that important right now as the series goes into a new phase, as Fox Sports has announced today, as they have agreed to buy interest into the sport. So we have a lot of great things going. The management of the IndyCar series has done a great job getting us as far. With Fox coming on this year, it's added even a little bit more. And then now it's up to us to take it and run with it from there. And the sport can grow astronomically if we just put a little effort into figuring out who's paying for the sport and how can we make their business better. You know, as a fan of the NTT IndyCar series, we all understand how important it is, especially right now, to not lose any more ovals from the season schedule. I grew up in Texas, and so went to the Texas Motor Speedway race every year from the late 90s up until just last year when the last race occurred. And I was very sad to see it go. I was always very adamant about getting my friends out there, getting business associates, anybody that I came in contact with, I tried to get them to the race. And I finally lost to the fact that not that many people were going and there's really nothing I could do about it. So it really bothered me. And so that's why I wanted the opportunity to do something like this to where I can grow awareness with the IndyCar series fans about who the sponsors are and who we need to support to make sure that our sport stays where it needs to be. And that where it needs to be is the fact that many of the races need to be ovals. There needs to be a couple of super speedways on there, some short track ovals. Obviously, the road courses have been okay this year. The street course races have been really good this year. So I don't discount the fact that those other racing venues are important. It's just that the IndyCar series was built on ovals. The Indianapolis 500 is an oval race. And so it's very important that we keep that tradition of the ovals. And when I saw what was going on in Iowa a couple of weekends ago, I almost just couldn't watch it. And I'm sure Fox noticed the same thing. And maybe that's the thing that forced Fox to invest in the series, just knowing that they had a race on TV where there was literally hardly anybody at. I'm sure it really bothered them, and I'm glad that it did. I'm glad that it had some action associated with the consequences of having nobody at the race, and hopefully we'll never see that again. And Fox is right there along with us to to help us make sure that we do get fans to the races. So what we're going to do with this channel is we're going to talk about the sponsors of IndyCar. We're going to take a couple of drivers each week, and we're going to look at their car. We're going to figure out if the sponsor is a primary sponsor for the entire year, or if they're only on board for a few races. Also, what does the company do that is on the car, so that we, when we see it, we can help support it. And the two drivers that I thought of for this week are Kiffin Simpson, who drives the Journey car for Chip Ganassi Racing, and Joseph Newgarden, who drives the Astemo car for Team Penske. And both of those cars I see every week. They're both sponsored by a company for multiple races, and I have no idea what that company does or who they are. So I just want to get to the press release that was issued on July 31st on the IndyCar website. Basically what it says is that Penske Entertainment and Fox Corporation, the parent company of Fox Sports, have announced an investment in the future of North America's premier open-wheel racing series. I like the way that sounds. With Fox's acquisition of a 1/3 interest in Penske Entertainment, inclusive of IndyCar and the iconic Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The investment is expected to supercharge a new era of growth in the NTT IndyCar Series, the most competitive and dynamic motorsport on the planet. I love this. I mean, Fox is coming up with all kinds of good things. They're definitely a great partner to have. They're going to add a lot to the series, including industry-leading racing and entertainment venues, events. So hopefully that will coincide with adding maybe a few extra events to the year, extending the schedule a little bit. It's definitely going to make some venues, some cities, some places where we can race maybe be a little bit more interested, knowing that the race is going to be on Fox, on the big network, no matter what. I think that's very positive. Also, a new digital strategy and immersive content focus will be taken on by Fox, and then also enhanced promotion and star building opportunities for the drivers, the NTT IndyCar Series drivers. And that's the key. That's where Drive to Survive was so popular with the Formula One. NASCAR's had the same kind of television series where they focus on drivers and their personalities and their family lives. All that stuff's important, and Fox is going to do a great job with that. One thing, being that I'm a huge Team Penske fan, as you haven't been able to tell already, but the fact that Roger Penske has signed off on this is huge. And I just trust him like no other person on this planet. If it's a good deal and Roger Penske signed off on it, then it's a good deal. So I'm very excited about that. I'm very excited about the future with Fox Sports. Obviously this includes the television rights to the next few upcoming IndyCar seasons, and it's a great thing to have. And this channel is definitely going to focus on things other than just the race. There's a lot of places where you can go to find content on the races, and we're going to throw some of that out there. The races are the best part, but what we have to do is focus on the sponsors, and the sponsors are the ones who are paying the bills. And the sponsors, any sponsor that comes into the series and puts their name on a car for, say, like 4 races, has to draw the attention of us fans to support whatever that car is. Now, it may be a car that you don't like, that maybe isn't your favorite, but the fact that the overall series needs to grow so bad that it's important for us to look at these sponsors and to give them our business. And so every week we're going to come up with a couple of drivers that have liveries that are permanent, I would say, or at least the majority of the season, sponsors on a certain car. And we're going to highlight a couple of those drivers each week so that you guys and myself, it's good for me, that's why I'm doing this, is so that I learn who the sponsors are. So I just want to say thanks to everybody that's made it through this video so far. This is my episode 1, and of hopefully many more. I definitely plan on doing this, getting better at it, and making this a weekly occurrence. So look to watch the next video next week from Prepare to Qualify. We will highlight another couple of drivers and their sponsors. We will also, we don't have a race this weekend. The next race is in Portland the following weekend after this. So we can still go back and talk about sponsorships. We can talk about the season. We talk about Fox Sports and their investment in IndyCar. We could talk about, the teams, the ratings, anything and everything that has to do with the business of IndyCar. We will talk about it, and we will talk about it next week on Prepare to Qualify. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next week.